Ask not what your country could do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. That has been the motto ever since those words were spoken in this America, United States of America. But we can see, but don't want to see it. We are threatened by it, but don't view it as a threat. They had 2 world wars, American Revolution, and all kind of things to establish a nation that has become so powerful that outside threats weren't the problem. The problem is the stink and the rot inside of this great nation. You see, those words, ask not what your country could do for you, that's what poor people live by. Poor people have been given to this country sons and daughters, labor, blood, sweat, and tears. But then you cannot see or recognize when people are taken from you, pitting one against another. Nobody likes to comment on who actually were the ones who built up this country. I'm talking about cleared the land and everything else. It was poor people. It was slavery. Okay? One of the things that we're going to have to come clean with is this stinking rot. And the fact that we are complicit in all the things that happen, because we talk of a yonder year when men fought on these grounds, United States of America, for their freedom from England. And I don't think they've ever been free. But most people look to the United States for help and for all kinds of things. They looked at them as the premier nation in the world. And now we won't even look to really see people as they truly are, not unless they are people of color. But if they look like Europeans, we have a problem. We can't see. We turn a blind eye, even when they're stealing us blind. These words are more than just words. They are meant to be lived by. So you tell me, why do some people have the nerve to get in that office and to misuse the people who made and make this nation? Governments don't make this nation, and governments don't live together. Governments don't do no farming. Governments do not go to war and fight. People do. And they also fight one another when they have no reason to do so, because while they're fighting, somebody has their hand in your pocket. Yes, people love to see people of color and Europeans fighting, because while you're fighting, they're in the Treasury Department, they're in the think tanks, thinking how they can turn this country into a place that they can take over. You think I'm lying? What gave anybody the idea to take money backed by gold and to back it with nothing? What gave people the authority, and who gave people the authority to go in the Treasury Department? Even think about closing or cutting Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare, Department of Education, and all of these things that most people that are beneath middle class, now they're eroding the middle class, but we still can't see it because we haven't had enough pain. We can't see. We're like a damn ostrich, okay? You put your head in the doggone sand or the dirt so you can't see what's going on around you, so you don't have to do anything. I don't believe you're fearful, but they have a word for that. And I don't believe we have cowards here. But your actions speak louder than your words. We have let two men, they're not no gods, they were just put in that position by us, take so much away from us. And these men are borderline by being senile, making mistakes. And even if you would not call them mistakes, when you don't have the backbone to do what's right for the people or for the nation, then there's a problem. And the problem has always been the same problem and has been running the same game on each of us. And I'm saying each of us because whatever the government does, we trail right behind them just like sheep. And we get sheared. And then we take out our pain and our lack of not having things on people that actually gave more than you to this country. Now, I think it's because sometimes we're poor and we look to the rich to guide us like we some goddamn fool. I'm going to read something to you, and I had this thought. I know most of you don't like the truth, but you can't deal with the lie anymore either. Senator Cory Booker, he has sent up a flare, a rally cry, okay? And it is probably going to be a tidal wave throughout this country if we can eat and keep down that hatred and that stench of slavery and the stench of hating people because of their color. The children are changing that right now, whether you like it or not. You can call yourself whatever you want. But this is supposed to be the home of Americans. So you tell me, how can somebody from South Africa come here and talk about what Hitler did? Who's trying to bring what back here? I don't think that people are going to stand for that. But you stood by and you let somebody do it, and that's on you. That's called being complicit, going along with the program. Now, my YouTube will be continuing, and I have to turn off this TikTok, but just know it is not the time to sit down. It's not the time to be an ostrich, nor exhibit cowardice. So, you tell me, especially you who are at these illustrious colleges. You were ready to back the government and everything. Now all of a sudden, they're starting to take back all of those grants and do things that's affecting you. But Princeton, I don't know why you worry. Harvard, none of y'all should be worried. You have like 36 million, maybe by now you might have 1 billion already put on the side, and you have sponsors and donors. So just use that money. But you see, that's your lunch money. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. If they don't pay their bills in 30 to 60 days, that's not their lunch money. That's their real money. So you tell me, why are there people in the highest positions in the United States taken from the people and the country that most of us call home? Now, we may call this home, but sometimes, in fact, a lot of the time, people like myself, we call something home that actually hates us sometimes, but we still love it. But the best question is, why are we fighting amongst ourselves instead of correcting the problems of this country? We all know, as I said before, great civilizations don't fall from being threatened from the outside. No, they send people to tear you up from the inside. They send liars, thieves, okay? And they are so good at what they do that they fool everybody, and then they turn on them. I mean, does anybody see anything that reminds them of that? You see, a country divided and not united cannot stand. Those who would have this nation laid bare are up to their old tricks again, turning the common folk against one another, while stealing and ripping the very fabric of this nation apart. And that is coming together when it counts. No matter what happens in the past, what happened, we always seem to find a way to beat the opposition, even when we weren't supposed to be fighting in those wars, because those wars did not serve us. What they did was they took other people's land and they made wealthy people richer. They had no business in Vietnam, but the French were over there, okay? They had no business in a lot of places, Africa and a lot of places. We had what we needed right here. But you know what the problem was? It wasn't going to work the way it was because you were misusing people for your own benefit. But now the sheets are coming off. And I'm going to tell you something. We fought, and our forefathers fought, and our forefathers before that fought, and your forefathers fought. You tell me what rich people, billionaires you know fought next to you in any of those wars. Who children did they get? They don't get rich people's children to fight. They get your children. But we so busy hating people for the reasons that somebody else tell us to hate, we can't see that. And now those very children that you're talking about, the next move is to have them fight against their own parents. Because all somebody needs is the military and the police force to wrap it up. But it's all coming apart. You know why it's coming apart? Because even the greatest think tanks and so-called greatest and richest people are just people. And all it takes is one firebrand. All it takes is one person at a time getting together with their neighbors, communities, and say enough is enough. This is our country. This is our nation. This does not belong to no one man. It doesn't belong to one group of men. You see, we have been twisted and conditioned to hate the very people who have given the most. Well, take a good look at what we have let happen and been complicit in its formation. Irregardless of the slavery, segregation, and so many broken promises, you would think that the black man or people of color are your problem. And now you know. We're not in the treasury. We're not even threatening anybody. You just hate us because somebody told you to hate us. But you forgot that when you first came over here, you were indentured servants. And yes, most of us might have been slaves, but you were working right next to us until that man came and got you from out of the field, because he knew that if both of us got together, working side by side, and figured out what he was doing, we would take everything he had, and this would be our country the way it was supposed to be. But we haven't figured that out in 500 years, and we got all these geniuses, white and black, people of color, and we haven't figured out how to defeat one group of people running games on us and fooling us. That one man come in as the false prophet and spill all kind of revelations and things to you that will never come true. Listen to a person when they tell you who they are the first time. He lied to you and getting elected, they all lie. Most of Congress, Supreme Court, and anybody else who put their hand on that Bible, because you see, they use that Bible as a weapon, and then they use it against everybody else. But the people that believe in that are not running the country. Because if the people who really believed in that were running the country, we would not be here now. The people who put their hand on it and created that, they did that so it could control and rule you. But they don't pay attention to it, just like the Constitution or the law. So, in closing, I got a question. Are you still going to sit down and do nothing when everything around you is in jeopardy? I ask you, Whose country is this? What say you?